All right, all right, perfect. Okay, perfect. So welcome to our team call, like I was saying, but nobody could hear me. Thank you guys for carving out some time. If you need to jump into Facebook and tag anybody to get them on here, go for it. But I am going to go ahead and jump right in because I want to honor everybody's time. So let's go ahead and get going. Here we go. So today we're talking about creating culture and building your dream team. I'm really excited about this because team culture is one of the things that I had no idea about before I was a coach. And even as a new coach, I didn't know how much it was going to have an impact on me. When I became a coach, I had no idea really that there were different teams of coaches in Beachbody and that your experience could be different depending on the team that you came into. And I also hadn't thought ahead enough to have the foresight of thinking about the culture that I would maybe want to have in my own team. Oh, can I not do that full screen? There we go. And so that was something that was one of the biggest kind of hidden blessings to me, but I'll touch on that later. So first, let's talk about culture. If you just look up the word culture in the dictionary, this is the definition. And I actually just copied it verbatim because I thought it was so perfect to what we're talking about as team culture. So culture is defined as a way of life of a group of people, the behaviors, beliefs, values, and symbols that they accept, generally and without thinking about them, and that are passed along by communication and imitation from one generation to the next. So to me, what this means as far as what team culture is this is the habits, this is the way that people are going to learn how to talk to themselves and to each other. This is going to be the things that we think are important in the way that we interact and the way that we build our businesses. The symbols that we use, the inside jokes that we have, all of those kind of things that we just do and we just learn and we just think about in our businesses because they're so ingrained in us because of this culture. And that then as we grow our own teams and as we kind of branch off and are duplicating, we pass those along just through communication and imitation, which to me sounds just like duplication, from one generation of coaches to the next. So from me to you, from you to your personally sponsored coaches, them to their personally sponsored coaches, and so on and so forth. So like I said earlier, culture was one of the things that I didn't really know about or think about before becoming a coach. And since not everybody here is my personally sponsored coaches, and you may be new, you might not know my story. I signed up as a coach in the middle of August of 2013. And at that point, I was in not the highest point of my life. Here's a few pictures from around that time. The one on the left is one that someone actually tagged me in on Facebook, which I'm convinced that that person hates me. Why would anyone put that photo publicly online of anybody? That's horrible. But anyway, I grabbed it because it is a great before photo to share with the world. The other one is just me and my son when he was a little baby out at an antique store one day. So before Beachbody, BB, I was overweight. I was depressed, actually clinically, as well as just generally being sad. I was a fairly new mom. I was overworked. I felt stuck. I had no community of support. I felt completely alone, and my family was living paycheck to paycheck. So to talk a little bit more about these, I had gained about 70 pounds. I was about 20 pounds heavier than what is a good weight for me when I got pregnant, and then I gained another 50 pounds during my pregnancy. And I'm only 5'2", so that is a lot of weight on a short person's frame, as you can see in these photos. After having our son, I had a really wonderful pregnancy. It was textbook. It was simple. My struggles really happened after he was born. I suffered from postpartum depression pretty intensely for 10 months without realizing that I was suffering from postpartum depression until it started to go away. So I was just living in this state of thinking that that's how life was, and it was very desolate. and frustrating. And if any of you guys have struggled with depression or postpartum, you know how all-encompassing it is, because unlike something like the flu or a broken arm that is visible to everybody outside, and depression, things like depression, anxiety, those kind of things, mental illnesses are inside your head and nobody can see them. So all they're really doing is affecting the way that you're experiencing your life, and nobody else can really understand it the same way that you are. So to everybody else, it was kind of one of those things where people were like, oh, you're just a new mom. This is how new moms feel. Like, snap out of it. You know, you're really like bringing me down. You know, like, you need to be this way or more this way, or be happier that you have a healthy baby, or whatever the things that people say that are just really hard when you're stuck in that situation. So I didn't know I was dealing with it. I didn't have the knowledge or understanding to get help until it had already gone away and I started to feel normal. And I looked back and I thought, that is not normal. How I was feeling was not how I was supposed to be feeling. And that was when I got some help and realized what had been happening the whole time. So when I was a coach, my son was 1.5. When I signed up as a coach, my son was about 1.5. So I was still kind of a new mom, but I consider myself still a very new mom, because I feel like my momming kind of started over again for the first time when my depression lifted, because it was an entirely new experience from that point on than it had been for the first 10 months. So I was basically having to relearn how to be a mom again, but now feeling like myself and more normal again. And at that point, I had really lost no weight from my pregnancy at all. So I was really unhappy with how I looked. It was affecting my relationships because I was so insecure, and I mean, cripplingly insecure, very hateful towards myself about how I had let myself get to this point. I was really overworked. So at that point, my husband and I, we were running a photography business together. And because of having a baby and taking time off for maternity leave and then struggling with depression, which just kind of slowed me down in general, the momentum in our business took a really big hit. And so we were basically trying to revive our entire business during the same time of year that I signed up as a coach. And we were rebranding and doing all of this stuff, and it was a huge undertaking. At the same time, we were still shooting our normal workload, and I was also working as a freelance writer for Disney. So I had this extra part-time job that took up way more time and energy and emotional capacity than I was ever anticipating, but we needed the money, so I just had to do it. So I was super frazzled and just always working around the clock, it felt like. And I just felt stuck. I don't know if any of you guys have felt this way, where you just feel like you can't give any more, but you need to be able to give more to get yourself out of it. Like, I felt like if I could work more to make more money, it would get us out of the situation. Or if I could have more time to work out and eat healthy, I would feel better about myself, and that would help me get out of this funk. But I felt like I literally I was at max capacity. I couldn't give any other time. I couldn't give any other effort to what I was doing. And I had no community at all. There was not necessarily a community because I worked for myself. I didn't have coworkers. We're not involved in any churches. And other than just my few close friends, I didn't have like a big support group around me. So I felt completely alone in all of these struggles. Even, my husband couldn't understand what I was going through because he's never had a baby. So it's just something that I felt very isolated. And living paycheck to paycheck, once you have a baby, it just kind of ups your stress factor with that, because now you feel this extra responsibility, and now there's also a lot of extra expenses. And so I felt very much like I was a duck. Like, on top of the water, I looked okay, but underneath, my feet were just like going a mile a minute, and I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. So when I signed up as a coach, I was adopted into the team culture of the team that I joined, which is the Bombshell Dynasty. That's our upline team. And I had no idea about team cultures. I didn't shop around before signing up as a coach, so it wasn't something where I had compared all these different teams and picked the one that I thought I would fit in best with. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I just signed up with the person that I had been talking to, which is this beautiful blonde woman right here, Lindsay. And I was basically adopted into the culture of the team that she had built. And it was something that I wasn't expecting at all as a coach. I knew that I was going to be in training groups with other people, and I knew that I was going to be in challenge groups with other people, but I had no idea of the culture that was here. And other than the fact that coaching was able to transform our life financially, the culture in the community is the biggest thing that was dramatically influential in my life, and that I look at and I say, this is one of the absolute best things about coaching, because it has been so transformative to me. So I was plugged in with this team, and the culture was just this one of positivity. And I had not been around that in my previous industry. And working, blogging about children and moms, if any of you guys are in any like online mom groups, you know that that's not always the most positive place either. And so it was just this culture that was just a 180 from what I was used to. It was full support. It was people that were there to encourage you. It was people that were just giving freely of their time and resources, people that cared about how I was feeling and the struggles I was having and the successes I was having. And it was so amazing to me that I knew that I wanted to continue that in my own team and give other people that amazing feeling and that amazing experience. So we're adopted into team culture, and team culture is passed down. The new coaches, like me, learn from their upline, but new coaches also learn from the team. So as much as Lindsay was influential in how I understood the culture of our team, as much, if not more influential, was the other coaches that I was around, the coaches that started at the same time as me, that were going through trainings with me, the coaches that would post in the team pages that I was in or in the different training groups I was in, the people that I saw when I went to live events, because those are like the ground level troops, you know, like my sponsor coach was my mentor, but these were the people that were kind of like on the level with me. And we were going through the same experiences at the same time, building our business, having the same struggles, learning the same things. So I learned just as much from those people as I did from her. So I wanted to make sure to speak about that, because as much as you are going to influence the coaches that you bring in, the other coaches on your team are as well. So it's so important for culture to be a team thing. Everybody has to be playing a part to make it an incredible experience. The tribe sets the tone, because you can't be everywhere. You're not going to be the one that's always talking to them as their sponsor or their mentor. The other coaches in their groups, their success partners, those people are going to really influence the culture. So it's so important for us to pass on to everybody this good culture that we want and have everybody being a part of it. Culture is all of us. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to pass on to the coaches on my team, which is our Arrow Tribe, these were the traits that I loved so much about the Bombshell Dynasty that I wanted to continue on in our team culture. And also some of the things that I wanted to really make our own, since we are our own little family. I wanted to really have a high value on authenticity, because that was a huge part of my journey as a coach and how I was able to find success as a coach. I really wanted our places to be positive spaces where there wasn't complaining and there wasn't people talking about each other or being mean to each other like in other industries or other areas of life. That this was just a place where people could come, a safe space where they were going to feel uplifted. I wanted to have go-getters. I wanted to have people on my team that just would have a goal and they would do what it takes to get there. They would find the answers. If there was something that was missing, they would go get it. If they came up with something cool, they would add it, which leads into my next one. I wanted value adders. That is the number one surprise to me about coaching when I joined, was how much people would just give value for asking nothing in return. In the groups that I had joined with the Bombshell Dynasty, people would just go and post inspirational things. They would record videos for their own teams, and then they would just come and share it in case anybody else could use it to be beneficial. When they had a great idea that they wanted to share, they would share it. When they had a new system that they tried that worked well, they would share it. And I loved it because it was just this incredibly inspiring community. And there's a really cool thing that happens when everyone is just giving without asking anything in return. It just fosters an amazing sense of family, which leads into my next one. I really wanted that sisterhood, that family feeling where you feel supported, where you feel like this is your place where people, they know you're good, they know you're bad, they know where you started, they know where you want to go, and they support you in that unconditionally. I also really wanted something kind of that I felt was unique to me in our team, which was a come as you are kind of feeling. You don't have to be a specific type of person. You don't have to look a specific way. You don't have to already be in crazy shape. You also don't have to have a ton of weight to lose. It's a come as you are feeling, because I think that we all have our own unique perspective and circumstances that make us amazing as a coach. You can reach people that I will never be able to reach. And just like that, as other people in our team won't be able to reach because of your unique experience, your unique voice. So coming as you are, but then becoming better together, strengthening our weaknesses, working on the things that we need to work on, and utilizing the culture of our team, all of the resources we have to become better, to get healthier, to become better leaders, to become better business owners, to become just better humans in general, I think is a really important part of culture. Creating those strong friendship bonds. Some of my absolute best friends in the entire universe are coaches that I met because of Beachbody. I mean, they know more about me probably than some of my best friends that I see in real life all the time. And I only see them a couple of times a year at Beachbody events. But we talk all the time, and we share so vulnerably and candidly about the goals that we have in life and our struggles. And we've built these super strong bonds. And that is really, really special to me. And I want you guys to get to experience that too. That feeling of being better together, that feeling of not being isolated in your struggle or the things that you're having trouble with. That was a huge thing to me with our team. This feeling of this cord of 3 strands can't be broken as easily as one. Like, yeah, maybe on your own, you wouldn't be able to figure it out. But with our team support behind you, you're going to be able to push through, and you're going to be able to make it to your goal. And goal getters, like I said before. Okay, so how do you feel this culture? If you're a new coach, or maybe you've been a coach for a while, but you're like, yeah, I don't really get this. I'm not really getting this vibe. How do you feel all of this kind of stuff? How do you experience the culture, not only of our team, but of Team Beachbody? Because Beachbody as a network has its own incredible culture that is just so cool and so unlike anything else. The number one way to experience both of those things is to get to live events. And there's so many options for you, and they happen all year long, all around the country. So there's really no excuse to not being able to get to at least one live event. And if you're a new coach, I would stress the urgency of getting to events as early in your coaching career as possible, because they really solidify what you're doing. And being around like-minded people that are just as passionate about all of this as you, just as crazy about it as we are, who understand what you're going through, who are just like as pumped up about cafe latte Shakeology as you are, and they just get it, you know, like you don't have to explain it to them like you have to explain to your mom and dad. It's huge. Also, getting to live events is amazing because you get to solidify the friendships that you make in the computer in real life. So this is a picture of me and one of my closest success partners, Nikki Johnson, who I had not really gotten to meet in person for almost a year after we had become friends and success partners. And you get to these live events and you get to spend time face to face with the people who you've shared so much of your life with, so much of your heart with. You've cried to them, you've struggled through stuff beside them, you've encouraged each other. And those bonds just become so strong when you get to be there in person finally around each other. Your confidence starts to grow. So there's a funny thing that happens when you get to these events and you get around all of these like-minded people and you find these new friends and you solidify these friendships with the people that you've been, only knowing via Facebook and training groups, is your confidence starts to skyrocket because everybody there is so on the level with you and everybody just gets you. And you can just be yourself in such a new way that maybe you don't feel like you can be in your day-to-day life. And it's so fun because everybody's so supportive. We joke all the time that Beachbody events are the only place when you can take your phone out to take pictures of your food, and no one's going to give you a hard time about it because we're all coaches and we just understand that posting on social media is a normal part of what we do. So it's just kind of that fun aspect of it, getting to these live events. Also, getting this big confidence boost by being able to connect with corporate. So like I said, there's also a team Beachbody culture, which is what all of our culture springs from. And it is unlike any other thing I've experienced in my life. The way that this company supports the network, there's literally nothing I can say to you guys that will communicate it effectively until you experience it for yourself. You have to get to a live event so you can experience it for yourself, because it just fills you up with so much excitement and passion and confidence in not only what you're doing as a coach, but in where the company's mindset is at and the direction that they want to go to. And it just gets you so excited. You come back so pumped up to post about what you're doing, to talk to everybody about the business. All of that fear starts to fall away. And lastly, you're getting better together. When you go to these events, you do these live workouts with the trainers together, and we're all sweaty, disgusting, fumbling messes. And we're going to these trainings and we're learning from other top coaches, and we're taking notes, and we're strategizing, and we're going to coffee and sharing ideas, and you're just growing by leaps and bounds, but you're doing it together with all of these like-minded people. If you're curious about what some of the upcoming events are that you can go to, I'm trying to keep a rolling list in our team training site under the events tab. You can see, and if there's an info page or a registration, I've linked to it. So if you go there, you can find all of those things. But there are a couple new things here. There is a leadership training happening here in Orlando next week that anybody can come to if you are in the area or you're willing to be in the area. Craig Collier, he is the 6 to 14 star diamond rep for the corporate sales team, will be here, and he'll just be talking about leadership. So there's no rank requirement to be here. You can come if you're just interested in learning and growing and connecting. So that's pretty fun. I'll be there. So if you want to come, you'll at least know me. The Success Club Cruise is coming up next month for everybody that earned it and that's going. That is going to be a huge one for connecting and feeling culture. And then if you didn't, get on that cruise, don't fret, because there's an April Super Saturday, and Super Saturdays are probably the easiest event to go to because they're either free or they only cost a couple dollars to get in, and they're quarterly. So if you're a new coach, or if you have new coaches, every few months there's another Super Saturday. So it's an incredible opportunity for you to get plugged in with a live event right from the beginning. And if you haven't been to one, I would encourage you to find the nearest one to you in April and commit to going no matter what, because it's going to be so fun. Summit 2016 in Nashville. That's our huge annual convention. And if you are a working coach, you need to do whatever it takes to get to Nashville, because Summit is the biggest event of the year, and it is just unbelievable what it can do in your life and in your business. It's so exciting. It's so fun. They launch a bunch of new products. People get celebrated on stage. Maybe you'll even be one of the people walking the stage. So if you have not already registered, go to the website and get on the wait list now, because if you're taking this seriously, then it needs to be something that you put on your calendar. Upcoming retreats. Sometimes, your sponsor coach may do a diamond retreat or a team leader retreat that you can qualify for. Those aren't necessarily Beachbody corporate events, but they're just stuff that happens within the teams. Those are really, really, really fun. The diamond retreat that Lindsay Matway took me on was one of the best experiences of my life, and it's where I formed some of the closest coach friendships that I have now. That's where me and Bonnie Engel met for the first time, and we've been success partners ever since. So it's really, really fun to get to those. The leadership conference in the fall and New Leaders Conference in the new year, and then Success Club 2017, which is something that every single person here has a chance to get on. So if you're not already on the wait list or registered, go and register for that now. It doesn't cost anything until you get off the wait list, but that's going to be an incredible trip. Okay, outside of trips, which there's really no excuse for not getting to a live event, because Super Saturdays are so easy to get to. But if for some reason it's just not happening, you can still get plugged in via all of the stuff that happens online. So we're all spread out all over North America. We've got coaches in the US, Canada, all over the place. but we can all stay connected via our team pages, our team calls, just like you're here right now. You're experiencing part of the culture of our team through training groups and through one-on-one mentoring with your sponsor coach. Training groups are where I've made some of my best coach friends because you're going through the same things at the same time and you really bond with people during that time. Finding a success partner, finding a success partner group, it doesn't matter if it's one person, two people, three people, five people, getting plugged in with those people that are going to become your like business friends and your brainstorm people and the people you go to when you need a swift kick in the butt or when you need to bounce ideas around. It's just such a great thing that you can do to help your business. Actively participating in the training events, in the Zoom calls that you can get on. If you really want to get plugged into the culture, then just start to get as active as you can in the different things that are available to you. And it will really help you as a coach because it helps you to learn, to grow, and bolsters your confidence. All right. So one of the important things about team culture is that it really depends on you. So I can set up all of these different things that I want to be included in our team culture, and I can try and create that culture by the way that I lead our team, but it really comes down to each and every member on our team. And the same is going to happen for you with the coaches on your team. You can decide what you want your team culture to be, and you can implement it to a point, but until your coaches pick up the torch and run with it, it's never going to really kind of homogenize into something special. So I would challenge you to ask yourself this question: how am I modeling team culture for my new coaches? And you don't have to like write it down anything right now, but just think about it a little bit. How are you modeling team culture for your new coaches? Are you modeling the culture that you not only want to be a part of, but that you also want to pass on in your team? Are you showing them how to act, the attitude to have, the mentalities to have, all of those kind of things? Are you being the representation of it? Now let's think about what culture do you want to create in your own team? Because every coach that you sign up, they're going to learn from you exactly what they're doing more than they're going to learn from me or more than they're going to learn from their upline. You're going to be the one that influences them. And you have this amazing opportunity to create whatever culture you want in the team that you build. It's such a fun aspect of Beachbody. So I want you to grab a pen and some paper because we're going to do a little exercise. Wave it at me when you have your pen and paper so I can see. Good stuff. Okay. Oops. I want you to write down your top 10 for your team culture. So when you think about this vision for your future as a coach, and even if you're a brand new coach, this is still something you can do. This is fun. Even if you don't even have one coach signed up under you yet, you still can have this vision for where you want to go. In fact, it's really important to know where you want to go. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about the team that you want to create. I want you to think about 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, when you have all of these coaches on your team and when it's this whole group, what are the top 10 most important things that you want to be influential in your team culture? So this is some examples that I wrote for myself, if this was my list. So, some of these may be similar to you because some of them are kind of universally important, but you can always write down whatever it is to you. There's really no wrong answer. That's kind of the beauty of this. So I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds, maybe a minute or two, to come up with your list of 10 things that you really want to be important in the culture of the team that you build as a leader. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Ah, 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 ah. Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Key change. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I should have made Courtney do this. She's the singer performer. Right, I see pencils moving. And it's okay if this evolves over time. This isn't going to be anything we carve in stone for you, but it's fun to have it all written out. I'm Snapchatting you guys. Hope you don't mind. All right. Finish up your last couple if you're not quite done. All right. So let's talk about leadership culture. Because as a coach on our team, and like we said, you participate in the culture of our team. But even more importantly, as the leader of your own team, you set the tone. So let's talk about some ways that you can kind of cultivate this leadership culture. So no matter what your rank is as a coach, whether you're a brand new coach, whether you've been a coach for a while, volunteering and expanding your skills sets a really incredible tone. So this could mean volunteering to do team calls for your upline, leading team calls for your own team, leading sneak peeks. It can mean volunteering to do things on your upline team. If you're a new coach, that is the best way for you to be able to practice your leadership skills without having to have all of that pressure, is doing it alongside your mentor. Why not ask your mentor, hey, can I help with a team call? Hey, can I help co-host a sneak peek or help you with a training? Or, how can I really step up a little bit? Because what you're doing is you're showing them that you're someone who really wants to run with this business, that you're serious about learning how to be a good leader, and they're going to meet you. They're going to meet you halfway with that. They're going to really be excited to give you the chance to really shine. And then you can learn how to step into that leadership so that then you can take it to your own team and be an even better leader. Recognize your coaches. Whether you have one coach or whether you have 100 coaches under you, recognition is so important because it feels so good to be recognized for the work we do. And as new coaches, that's the scariest time in our business. We're just learning all these things. We don't really know what we're doing. So when your new coach gets that first challenge pack sale, or when they hit Success Club for the first time, or when they rank advance for the first time, whatever it is, when they do their first post saying that they're a coach, all of those things are great opportunities to be recognized. Leaderboards, shout outs, those things build confidence in your new coaches. And they also build respect between your new coaches and you. They also build trust, and they help your coaches want to do better. Everybody wants to do more of what they're being rewarded for. And that helps your coaches to create this endurance in their business, to get them through the, getting started process that can be, one of the harder parts of coaching. Be in the trenches. So what I mean by this is I want you to be a 5. If you were going to rate every one of those categories that you just wrote down for the culture that you want to create, if you were going to rank yourself on all of them, 1 being not very good at all, 5 being awesome. I want you to be a 5 in every single one of those because you set the tone. Speed of the leader, speed of the pack. And if you want to attract coaches to your business that are those things, and if you want the coaches that you already have in your organization to rise up to being those things, you have to model them. You have to be in the trenches doing all of those things. If you're posting a Success Club leaderboard, put yourself in there. Show people that you're hitting it. Show people the points you have. Lead from the front. If you're posting volume leaderboards, if you're telling people to do sneak peeks, be doing them yourself. If you're telling people to do trainings, be leading them yourself. Show people that you're not just sitting at the top of your organization watching everybody else work, that you are there doing all the same things you're asking them to do, because that is what we do as coaches. And being able to be vulnerable and show that to your team, it's going to help them want to rally around you, and it's going to help them have more respect for you as a leader. Next, share your goals. So I know that this can be a little bit scary and also tricky feeling because you never want your coaches to feel like you're pushing your goals on them. But sharing your goals as a leader is actually really exciting because then you can rally your team around something, especially new coaches who maybe they don't know what they're fighting for yet, or maybe they don't even know what their goals are yet. They're just figuring it out. If you have some big goals for yourself and for your team, why not share them? Let's say one of your goals is to be an elite team. Why not share that with your team and say, I think we're good enough for this. I think we have 5 people who could be diamond coaches on this team this year. Who wants to work on this goal with me? Who wants to push? And see who rises out. And then nextly, be willing to meet them with their goals. So if you're going to ask people to rally behind yours, you have to be willing to rally behind theirs. So make sure that you know what each of your coaches wants to accomplish. Make sure that you know what their pace is. Some of your coaches, they may not want to be elite coaches. They may just want to make enough to cover their Shakeology every month, and that's fine. And you can help them make sure that they do that. Next, share everything and add value. This was one of the big things, like I said, that impressed me when I joined the team that I was on, that I have always wanted to make sure that our team has. And it's this sharing of ideas, this feeling that everything that helps me can help you, and helping you helps me. Like, we're all a team. We all rise together. Rising water lifts all ships. The better that someone else does, it doesn't make you do less better in this business. Unlike other industries where you want to keep your trade secrets. That's not the way that this works at all. You want to give away all your secrets to your coaches and to your team, because everybody doing better helps you do better. We're so interconnected in the way that this business works that it fosters this amazing giving community. So share your ideas. Maybe you have an awesome idea for an upcoming challenge group or an upcoming training or an upcoming push. Share it. Find people that want to do it along with you. Maybe you have a tool that you found that's just so helpful and it's saving you so much time, or a personal development video or book or quote, or you had an aha moment. Record a video, talk about it, share it in your team page, share it in the big team page, give it to other people and give it to your coaches. Be a value adder instead of a vampire of value. We want no vampires in our pages. We don't want to be the person that comes and sucks all the life, that just takes from everybody and doesn't give back. There's a group on Facebook called The Wall, and it's all the 5-star diamonds and above in the network, and corporate's in there. So Michael Neiman's in there, Carl's in there. And it's basically a direct line to corporate. And one of the things that is hugely clear is, just give me one second. One of the things that is made really clear in that group is that we are expected to add value to it. So we're not supposed to just come in there and ask questions and ask for help and complain. We are to come in there and to add value when we can. What's working with our teams that we can help, someone else with? What can we share? What's a good idea? What can we contribute? No vampires allowed. We don't want to be that. We want to be the people that give. We don't want to be the people that take. All right, stay positive and keep your belief. So in this business, just like everything in life, you're going to have good days and you're going to have less stellar days. There are going to be days when everything goes right, and there's going to be days when everything goes wrong. There's going to be times when, the website is down, or there's a glitch, or something goes wrong. And it can be really easy to get negative really quickly because that's just life. And sometimes frustrations get the best of us. But one of the things that I love about our team is the positivity, the way that we can turn it around and we can say, you know what, this sucked, but here's what I learned. Or, you know what, this sucked, but it's okay because tomorrow is going to be better. So keeping that positive tone, not only in our team pages, but with your coaches, because you are the leader, showing them how to react when things are frustrating, showing them how to respond when things don't go their way, how to move past it, how to be able to rise above it is huge. Lastly, act like a top coach, even if you're not a top coach yet. Lead with that confidence, because as soon as you have coaches under you, you're a leader. And even if you have no coaches under you, that's how you're going to attract the ones to your team that are going to really be the ones that you want. So if you have big goals for this business, if you want to be, an elite coach, if you want to be a top 10 coach, if you want to be the top coach, start acting like it right now. There's no reason why you can't start acting with that confidence right now. You don't have to wait until you've hit a specific milestone to feel confident in yourself. If you are already a coach, if you've already signed up to be a coach and you have paid your coach fee, bought your challenge pack, you're in the system, you already know more about becoming a coach than someone who has not become a coach. So you instantly already have earned the right to be more confident than someone who you're talking to about signing up as coaches. You don't have to wait until you've hit, a certain income milestone. You don't have to wait until you've got X amount of people on your team. No, you already know more than someone that you're going to be helping. So lead with that confidence. Okay, last, I want to end with a couple calls to action from the call. So what can we do from this? What can we learn from this? So what I want you to do when we're done with the call, or when, you have a chance tomorrow when you're doing some work, is I want you to take a self snapshot. I want you to take the list that you wrote down with all the things that are important to you, the top 10 things for your team culture that you want to build. And I want you to assess yourself in each category on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the least consistent, the least good, 5 being the best and the most consistent. And I want you to very honestly, I'm not going to make you show this to anybody, so you can be honest with yourself. I want you to honestly rate where you are right now at this point in your business, the middle of February, not where you want to be, not the type of coach you want to be, but what you really are right now. Rate it from 1 to 5. I'm guessing that your ideal coach would be a 5 in every category. So see where you fall short from that, and it's going to show you your weak spots that you can start to work on. And I want you to start working on them literally ASAP. There's always something that you can do to start bolstering those areas. Maybe consistency is where you're not strong. So tomorrow, you're going to be consistent with every one of those vital behaviors. You're going to make it happen. And you're going to do it the next day and the next day. Maybe confidence is not the area. So tomorrow you're going to post and you're going to act and you're going to walk around your house like you are the top coach 2016. Whatever it is, I want you to start working on them ASAP and step up into leadership, no matter if you have a coach under you or not, because you are going to be a leader. And the faster that you are able to start feeling it and start acting like it, the easier time you're going to have. If you don't have any coaches under you, be a leader in the big tribe page, because there are new coaches in there that can use you and can use your tips and your support and your leadership. Practice on them. Get your bearings as a leader. Answer other people's questions if you know. Start getting into the motions of leadership. I want everybody, when we're done with this call, to sign up for a live event, or at least put it in your calendar if registration isn't open. That can be a Super Saturday, that can be Summit, that can be putting, getting on the cruise wait list for next year. You need to go to a live event. They are game changers for team culture and understanding it, feeling it, and being able to pass it on to the next generation. Next, I want you to be modeling the culture that you want to have. Even if you don't have a team yet, I want you to start modeling it. So be on the leaderboards every single week in our big team page. Be the one that's leading from the front, in the trenches, showing not only your new coaches, maybe your future new coaches, or just new coaches on the team in general, that you are a leader. You're somebody to watch. You're someone who's going somewhere in this business. Show those coaches how to act. If you don't already have a team page and you do have coaches under you, start one. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a little group where you can connect with the coaches that are just specifically under you. And start to pass on the culture that you wrote down that you really want to instill. Start it from the very beginning, from As soon as you have one coach on your team, on. Because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. You want it to be really organic and natural. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and stop our share, stop our recording.